this time, I want to talk to you about the Higdon Chronicles, Iron Butts, Airheads, and My Life Behind Bars, Volume 1, by Robert Higdon. Now, for me, I'm not familiar with him in terms of his professional career and his writing that he's done, but he's apparently one of sort of the key people with the Iron Butt Association and with that whole community. So for those of you who are involved with that, you probably recognize his name. It was new to me when I got this book a while back. And his writing is similar to some of the other motorcycle columnists in that it will cover various aspects of riding, although he definitely does do quite a bit of the trips and the long distance stuff that he's doing. And it can be quite good. The key thing, like I said, to understand is that the writings themselves, much of them are already covered in Iron Butt magazine. So again, if you're familiar with that or you're a member of that, you may be sort of like if we're a fan of Peter Egan or Clement Salvadori and you read their magazines and their columns, then you get a culmination of the writing. So for me, it was nice having it here as opposed to something that I would have read every month or every other month. So I found it to be very interesting and insightful. And again, just from somebody who has spent his life with motorcycles, both in the mechanical, working on them aspect, but then also riding them as much as he has, it's always fascinating. One of the things that I enjoyed, I'll see if I can find it here. So one of the things that's kind of, gives you an idea of the hilarity of what he's got going on is it has to do with how do you classify how good a ride is. So a ride that you've gone on that you say is a good ride or that's a bad ride, how do you specifically quantify it? And so he's got this one article, this column where he's writing about the dead of winter being frozen and cold, and he ended up with a question, which is he had written that this was one of the worst rides he's ever taken, and then he thought, how bad is it really on a scale of 0 to 10? Was it a 0? He says, no, a ride worth 0 would end with someone drawing a chalk outline around my body. How about a 5? Never. Middling score. And then so he goes on and he decided, he came up with this code that he uses, and he calls it HORS. He goes, that's it. It's the perfect acronym. Describes the elements of a motorcycle ride: wind, the direction of velocity; heat, or its more vicious opposite; oneness with the universe, quantifying the state of mind; road, traction and condition; elements, fog, rain, sleet, snow, hail, tidal waves, atomic attack, and frogs; and scenery, and the Cross Bronx Expressway being the point which further discussion is pointless. So I thought that's pretty hilarious that I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but he's got the formula written out so that you can take your ride and you can quantify it, and it's completely scientific, of course. But I thought, so it's that kind of quirky stuff that I think is kind of funny. The Higdon Chronicles, Iron Butts, Airheads, and My Life Behind Bars, Volume 1.